Hey, Desiree here with Soul Path Astrology and this week's tarot card readings and astro weather report. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, you are in the right place if you are looking to expand your consciousness, tap into that more beautiful world your heart knows is possible, and find community that is here to actually make that a tangible reality. The whole point of this channel is to help you connect to your inner guidance system, to that part inside you that is a part of nature and knows right timing for right action for you, that is most aligned with what lights you up. It's sexy, it's fun, it's exciting. I occasionally go on holy rants, and generally speaking, it's just a really fun place to hang out and get a little bit of nourishment to take yourself into the following week. If you're returning, welcome, friends. It's always so lovely to have your energy join me in the space here. And I just love hearing your comments. So, you guys, any of you, if it lands, please, drop a comment. Let me know what's appropriate, what's landing, what's not landing, what's going on in your world. Maybe something you're struggling with. I absolutely love interacting with everyone in the community. So please do participate. Last, if you haven't yet and you love these videos, do hit that button, hit subscribe and the notification bell. It helps the channel grow. The more we grow, the better it feels. So get more people with every meal. All right, y'all. How the video works, I go through this every week. I'll do it really quick. At the beginning, I'll do a sort of astrology weather report, followed by a short meditation to help ground and center. Then you'll have an opportunity to pick a card of three. You can have one, two, or three. It doesn't matter. After that, there'll be timestamps, and you can either fast forward to the card of your choice or watch all three. It doesn't matter. And I do encourage you to watch right to the very end because there's usually a little tidbit of love, a nugget of goodness to take with you into the week. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the Astros. We have such an interesting week. Like this whole week, and then it culminates on Sunday. This whole week is about standing in our truth, about stepping into what is true, what is real. It's about facing some really long standing patterns, some old karma that we have just been dragging with us forever. And it's like so clear. This week is going to make it so abundantly clear. In fact, you've probably already been experiencing this a little bit, but it's going to be like this is the week where a lot of what you've been sniffing around at comes online. Like this is where the rubber hits the road this week. The cool thing about it until Sunday, this is really a lot about just slowing down and identifying in yourself, like really find that place that feels connected to your truth. And this is the place that all week you're going to practice speaking from. You're going to stop saying yes when you mean no. You're going to stop saying no when you mean yes. That's what this week is for. It's this practice into your truth. All those little places where you go along to get along, where you are perhaps afraid of ruffling feathers, where you're afraid of your carefully constructed persona might come crumbling down into a bunch of pieces if you were to start speaking your absolutely raw and real truth and without flinching. That's what this is about. And then Sunday, the astrology is so supportive of actually stepping forward into that communication and having it be effective and coming from the sweet spot of authenticity and truth, but still delivered in a way that is somewhat palatable and diplomatic. So let's get into a little bit of the details. So Wednesday, Medusa squares the nodes, the north node, south node. These are our nodes of fate. This is what we've karmically come in with as gifts from past lives or from our earlier, adulthood or even childhood. And then this north node, that's where we're heading towards collectively, and so the south node, we have a lot of really good stuff there, but we can also get mired in old habits, right? So with Medusa squaring there, this is where the masks come off. Medusa, the legend, of course, is that if you see her, you'll turn to stone. But really, like at the depth of that legend, it's about recognizing your own masks, your own egoic persona masks that you put on as a safety. All the little ways, big and small, that you curate your personality, where you go with the easy white lie in the name of saving feelings. This is this like We don't get to do that anymore. That used to work, South Node. It used to work. It used to be effective at not, of fostering a sense of community, of smoothing interpersonal relationships, right? But what's happening now is we're moving into an era where it's actually smoother if you're just honest. Our capacity to not take these things personally and instead just really just take it as information. Okay, this isn't a fit. Okay, you're not my person. Okay, where we've been going actually doesn't resonate anymore. And where I want to go, what's actually alive in here is this, right? And there is going to be a little bit of tension, as this gets exposed. But at the end of the day, a truth, even if it's somewhat ugly, is so much better than a pretty lie. Collectively, our capacity to work with lies is just disappearing right now. Like, yeah. So Tuesday, today, as we move into that Wednesday thing that I just talked about with Medusa squaring the nodes, there's Venus goes into Libra, and this is going to hold the space for us as we move through this. And I'm so grateful for this energy in the space because there needs to be some love, right? There needs to be some gentleness, but this is about real love, right? This isn't about the love that lies to save feelings. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And this is also the thing about when we peel off the masks and we start to live pure, we start to live true, we stop recreating the karma. And what opens for us is our dharma. So this is where we stop paying the piper, where we stop repeating the pattern that sucks. And instead, we start to move towards what excites us. Dharma is our like that's the path that leads you forward. That's the thing that's leading you, that's pulling you forward to what you love, to what excites you, to what feels so bright and light and free and open. That's what's really opening this week. But it's going to require that you have your masks come off, right? This is sort of the price to pay, if you will, the price of admission into a life that feels so light and free. Friday, the sun opposes Chiron. This is the curse or the wound, moving it into the gift. Chiron is the wounded healer. This is the tail end of that karma stuff that I'm talking about. This is where that pattern you've been stuck in that's been holding you back, that way of being, that way of interrelating with people and even yourself, that you've been doing it to keep yourself safe. You've been doing it because you haven't wanted to lean into that lesson that's been chasing you your whole life. Like, this is for many people, for many of us, this is where you have to learn your no. This is where you begin to advocate for yourself, unflinchingly allowing other people to have their emotional experience without carrying it. You can care. I mean, we're not sociopaths here, but there's a huge difference between caring and carrying. So allowing others to have their emotional experience, allow yourself to have yours. A lot of the time, this is about first arriving for your own inner experience because we've been so conditioned to divorce ourselves from it, to dissociate from our bodies, to mentally explain away our feeling instead of just being present for it. So, what wound in you, what childhood trauma happened that you've been running from ever since, that you've been desperately trying to not recreate ever since? There's going to be opportunities this week to invite you into arriving into those circumstances in a different way, to arrive into those circumstances with more peace, with more self-love, with more transparency, and with more self-advocacy, not in an overly defensive way, but like this invitation into this stillness, into the eye of the storm that resides within you, the part of you that can hold all of these swirling emotional experiences and can rest in your own stillness as it's connected to source, as it's connected to the greater, more broader perspective version of you, the more adult or mature you, your higher perspective, your higher self, your sangha, your community, of unseen, seen and unseen, but that where there is this deeper level of support that you can relax into. There's a practice all week. There's going to be invitations into stepping into that, into building that muscle. It's like an alchemy. It's like alchemy's turning lead into gold. This is where we take the stuff that we've historically labeled as shit and working with it in this way, turn it into the gold. This is the stuff that forages that beautiful, strong spine to support that deliciously bright and warm and fuzzy heart. You need them both. There is no amount of respect that can compensate for a lack of love. And there's no amount of love that can compensate for a lack of respect. These are both very needed in equal measure in any given relationship and certainly in your inner dynamic. Then there's Sunday. So Sunday, Mercury conjuncts Mars. Mercury, that's our planet of communication. It's the psychopomp between the gods and the self. It's Hermes. This is our communicator. And then Mars gets things done. Mars is the masculine impulse. Mars is the warrior. So there's a mindfulness here about not being too harsh with your words, but it's like, okay, what needs to get said is getting said. And if you've been doing your homework this week where you've been getting really clear on your dharma, getting really clear on what excites you, on where you want to move towards, what you stand for, right? Because if you don't stand for anything, you're going to fall for everything. So this is take this week to get really clear on what you stand for, on what excites you, on what you want to put yourself in service to. Hold that as you go into this communication on Sunday, as you go into this restructuring of things, and just reside in the truth of that. And don't get pulled into the chaos. Don't get pulled into the old habits. Don't get pulled into other people's drama. Allow yourself to just be this calm, this beautiful, calm, still presence in your hope, dreams, dharma, passion, certainty of your goodness and your purpose in serving that goodness. Okay, so that's Sunday. Plus, it's in a sextile on one end and a trine on the other end to the north node. So these are positive aspects to the north and south nodes. So this is really like, this is some fucking huge shit, you guys. Like, this is next level, game changing. This isn't just a mild conversation about what kind of toothpaste we're going to use. Like, this is like a really fucking big deal. And I really want to invite you to just step into it in like the most authentic, deepest way. And it's okay if you get a little bit wobbly. It's okay if you don't nail it. Just know that all your old habits are going to be coming up. Like, know that going into it so that you can be conscious of that and not accidentally slide back into all the old things. This way you can know that this is the boss level stuff. We're entering into the very tail end of the squeeze of 2025 where whatever doesn't fit is needing to be released. It's a fucking gift. Let it go, because 2026 and 2027, we're entering into an entirely new way of doing things. But you cannot bring your shitty old luggage with you. You have to let it go. So let it go. Trust that you're going to be guided. Trust that you will find the right words. Nodes, the nodes of fate are there. They're holding you, right? As Mars and Mercury have their little dance and you communicate what needs to be said. You take the action, Mars, that needs to be taken. Sink into your community. Be supported in this. It's not easy work, but it's necessary. So that is the astrology. Oh, potent week, friends, potent week. Let's do the cards. Before we get into them, though, we are going to have a lovely little meditation to ground and center. Arriving in this space together, I invite you to close your eyes. Arriving for your breath. Notice your body. Arrive home. Hands in your chest. Maybe one on your belly. I love this practice. And just being present with your breath for a few inhales and exhales. Slowing down. Softening the brow, the jaw, the shoulders. Allowing your belly to expand, contract with each inhale and exhale. Your sit bones, your pelvis, the backs of your thighs, the base of your feet as they touch the ground. You are here. And in this moment, there's nothing to do and nowhere else to be. Breathing in, you breathe clarity. Exhaling, you find ease. Deep breath in. Pause at the top with an audible exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes and join me back here. Hello, welcome. Okay, let's do our card selection. Card one, card two, card three. One, two, three. Card one, if this was your selection, this is what you got. The Four of Wands. I love this card. It's such a celebratory, loving card. This is all about, it's about celebration, for one thing. It's also about like joy and harmony. And there's this quality of like a rite of passage with it. There's sometimes it involves a marriage, sometimes it's just like a party. There's a lightness to it. So the energy of this card, if it was your selection, it's like inviting you into dancing, into singing, into being with your community, being with your friends, and just like allowing yourself to feel light. Do what elevates you, like attune with that energy that feels not heavy. This is the energy that feels celebratory. This is an acknowledgement of a deep rite of passage that you are stepping through, and it's a celebration, like a cheer squad. Another beautiful visual is you're on the stage and there's like this huge audience, like thousands of people. So the energy's so high, my camera's kicking out. Thousands of people cheering for you. Enjoy this. Enjoy this moment. Soak it in. Okay. So that's card one. Card two, if this is your selection, this is what you've got. The Three of Wands. Isn't that interesting? Two wands in a row. Wands are about creativity. It's about new beginnings. It's about looking to the horizon. This three, the Three of Wands, is about looking to the horizon and planning your future. So this really ties into the energy of what's going on astrologically about really attuning to your dharma, attuning to what excites you. Where are you going? What are your plans for moving forward? This card is all about that. I'm just so cognizant because my computer's like flickering. I'm like, I need to talk slow and down turn the energy so this doesn't kick off. So this is about expansion and progression. Card two. There's a lot of like, oh, you might be in like further education. Maybe there's travel happening for you. Like this is expanded consciousness. I love the looking to the horizon imagery. And if you look, he is, right? Like, so this is, he's got his back to us and he's looking to the future, looking over the horizon, planning the next step. So much energy in this is so beautiful. Yeah. Let me know how that lands. Do you want a container? Do you want to explore this? Do you want to pull some cards that are specific just to you, not just a generalization? You can find a link to my calendar below. You can just DM me. I would love to set something up. It can feel so good to plan your future with somebody who's excited, with somebody else who won't just poo poo it, but will be like, yes, tell me more about this. That's what I love doing. So if that's something you're needing, you know where to find me. Let's set it up. Finally, last but never least, card three, the Eight of Swords. So this is really cool because what happens for many of us when we're beginning to get excited, when we're beginning to open our mind, to expand our horizons, to give ourselves the gift of dreaming bigger, immediately on the heels of that are all the reasons why we can't. All the arguments we've compiled for ourselves over the year about why you can't have that, why we can't achieve that, the people that will be hurt, the commitments we already made, the money we've already spent, the investment of time, money, energy, thought to the thing that we're already doing that's not working, but that we feel we have to cling to, and we can't have that new thing because, well, fuck, there's all this energy I've invested in the old thing. This is the feeling of stuckness. This is the feeling of powerlessness. The Eight of Swords, this is where that inner self-talk tells you you can't move forward and that you are kind of in a victim consciousness. And the invitation inherent in the card, because she's only loosely held, it's her own limiting beliefs that are keeping her stuck there. The Eight of Swords, this is a really common thing. All those mental chatters that keep you stuck. Everybody has that. And this invitation, and this is the stuff that we can't take with us moving forward, is to beat this. It's to finally notice that voice inside your head and say, no, I'm not going to listen to it. I am not limited. I have choices. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. I'm going to repeat that. Whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. Even that empowers you, even if what you're choosing is to stay stuck. At least if you understand you're choosing that, that's more empowering than the feeling of I can't help it. It's I have no ability to do anything. It's not my fault. I would, but right. That's this really horribly powerlessness place to be. Whereas if you're choosing to remain stuck, at least there's a little bit of power in that. Ideally, you notice you're choosing to stay stuck and you start to choose to move forward. Give yourself permission to get uncomfortable. Maybe you need some support in that. Maybe you need a cheer squad who can assure you that it's okay, that you're not going to die, that this feeling of discombobulation is temporary, and that there's something even more beautiful on the other side. If that's something you would like help with, I would love to be of assistance. You can find me in the description. There's a link to my calendar. You can DM me directly if you want. That's easier, no problem. Listen, you're beautiful. You have a huge, awesome gifts to bring to the world. And the time of playing small, the time of making excuses, the time of being afraid of stepping into your fullness is over. And you are going to need support. If it's not me, that's fine. But get yourself a support network around you. Find other people that are excited to move forward. Find Sangha, find community that you can all collaborate and pool your resources together and move this collective forward into that more beautiful life that your heart knows is possible. Okay, I love you guys so much. I hope this landed. Let me know if it did. As always, I love your shares. I love your connection. I so appreciate you. If you've liked these videos, if you appreciate them, I love offering them for free. Please like, love, share, subscribe. It helps so much, and it really does contribute to the overall goodness in the world. Okay. Mwah. Take it easy, y'all. And in the meantime, know that I love you, and I will see you